They are extremely vulnerable to magic, and also, evolved Pleiadians cannot learn magic, because none of them have an affinity with magic. The evolved Pleiadians can learn any other type of power, except magic. Some of them are even born with different powers, while together with the natural ones, similar to the superhumans on Earth. On their planets, Alelu, who is Sharon, restricted them to only 2 kids because he wants to get out of these shells. They are the Galactic Federation of Light, which is also called the Intergalactic Confederation, in its wider universal form, is comprised of many great federations and councils, including our local Galactic Federation and its overseeing council. The Galactic Council flows in turn through an Ascension Council, which overviews and guides planetary and stellar ascensions in a specific, focused role. The Draconian reptilians were eating them right alone with the Alderbarians, but Ashtar Command made a deal with them to herd humans on this planet for food. They were supposed to raise and protect their overlord's food source on the 21 planets. They come off as friendly and caring, but you can't trust them. They will turn on you if it benefits them. They wear blue advanced space suits with their logo. They offered to be of assistance to Earth leaders in dealing with the alien situation here, but were refused and so have taken a kind of hands-off approach for the time being. Even though the American government turned them down, the hidden black Jews, which are Enlil's children, keep in close touch with them. The Pleiadians claim that their technology surpasses your international technology by about 3,000 years. This may explain why the humans in Lyra were able to travel the vast distances from this part of the galaxy to colonize the Pleiades, some 444 light-years from Terra, Earth, which, like we said, they called Gaia. The Pleiadians consider themselves to be part of the Andromedan Council based within some of the planetary systems within the Andromeda constellation. The Andromedians had no comment on this. They have many ships, this is their mothership. They have fleets of these ships. They got the first couple of ships from us at Risk Tech. Then began to try and clone the technology. They reverse engineered some of the technology, but they were not able to reverse all of it. The type of ships we sold them were the Crystal City types. These great motherships or space cities have, in most cases, 12 levels. The first level is for the entry and exit of UFO aircraft to land and be stored. The second level is a vast stockroom of supplies for all the other levels of the ship. The third level is a zoo, with animals from many different worlds. The fourth level is the agricultural research, farmland, gardens, and orchards. The fifth level is the housing center for technicians and people working on the first 4 levels. The sixth level is the recreational level, with vast parks and landscaping. The seventh level is the medical complex. The eighth level is housing for evacuees, should that ever be needed. The ninth level is the university compound. On this level are libraries, halls of wisdom, concert halls, and cultural activities. Level 10 is where the visiting dignitaries from all dimensions come. The 11th level is the headquarters for the Ashtar Command and the Great Rotunda Meeting Hall. Level 12 is referred to as the Dome. It is the pilot control center and officers' observation deck. Visitors are allowed to come here by appointment if they come in a group. Down through the center of the mothership is a circular shaft which is a power reactor for the entire craft. Ashtar has described one particular mothership called the Shanxia as the largest of these orbiting cities that encircle the solar system. This is the ship that Commander Ashtar apparently lives on most of the time. The first one which we sold them is the original one called Olympus 1. The first Olympus was about 1,500 miles in diameter. This is the one they tried cloning all the other ones from. Their ships range in size from about 40 feet to 1,000 miles in diameter and is capable of FTL in hyperspace, the 6th dimension. They have about 200 of these huge ships. The fleet as a whole is called the Olympus Fleet, meaning, the abode of the gods. In the Greeks' teachings they talk about this mothership as being where the gods live. Keep in mind one of Sharon names is Zeus. He is really Alelu, who is the equivalent of the Greek god Poseidon. Keep in mind Alelu came to Earth at one point saying he was Anu. who is the real equivalent of Zeus in the Greek culture. Their mother ships have smaller ships on it. It is fueled by solar energy. Like we said, their home is about 444 light-years away, which takes them about 90 days to make it to Earth on the old ones. The new ones take about 60 days. This means their ship is traveling at about 5 to 6 times the speed of light. Their ships man over 2,000 people on the 40-mile one and about 122,000 people on the bigger ones. Their baby planes look like the mother plane, but they are about 40 feet in diameter and some of them look like wedding cakes. The 42 smaller ships hang on the outside of the mothership like bugs. The Ashtar Command is a brotherhood of light. It is composed of millions of spaceships and members of various cosmic civilizations. They claim to be here to assist the planet Earth and its humanity in this cycle of cleansing and realignment, but like we said, Ashtar Command is here for the deal they made with the Draco reptilians to herd 144,000 children. The Pleiadian Council was formed approximately 200,000 years after the First Great Galactic War. The aftermath of the Galactic War in the Lyra system sent the humanoid Lyran civilization throughout the galaxy. At this time the Pleiadians formed the Pleiadian Council of Light, also known as the High Council, locally. The Pleiadians' Light Council provides spiritual, tactical, and governmental guidance to the Pleiadians. The council consists of 12 members per division, with 12 divisions in total, creating a total of 144 elected High Council members. There is hierarchy among the divisions, with the Grand Council of Light being headed on the planet Era. The council performs many different tasks, overseeing the entirety of Pleiadian relations with the rest of the galaxy. The Pleiadians' Light Council is an essential member of the Galactic Federation of Worlds and has an enormous impact on the decisions made for the galactic whole. Commander Sharon and his vast extraterrestrial army of workers of over 12 to 20 million, work closely and in conjunction with whoever they feel is with their agenda. Besides the 12 to 20 million personnel under his command in your solar system, of which he is in charge, there are another 4 million members and workers on the physical plane. They also named their people the same as us Riskins to cause confusion. They began coming to Earth about 7,000 years ago, claiming they were doing studying and research. They were the ones who put in Yakub, the big head scientist mind, to make a race to rule over the Nubian race of the planet. Keep in mind they are tricky. This is one of their agendas. Once Yakub's race fell and got kicked out of the Nubians' land, back to the caves, they fell off. Ashtar Command had a new plan to create a new Aryan race. This is why they called themselves the Great White Brotherhood, as in the Aryan Brotherhood. The Aryan Brotherhood, also known as the Brand or the AB, is a neo-Nazi prison gang and an organized crime syndicate which is based in the United States and has an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 members both inside and outside prisons. Their rivals are the so-called blacks, black and pale Jews, the Guerrilla Family, the Black P-Stones, the Bloods, the Crips, DC Blacks, Nuestra Familia. Their motto is simple: blood in, blood out. The Aryans claim they are a superior race to other races. In Germany, the Nazis promoted this false notion that glorified the German people as members of the Aryan race, while denigrating black and pale Jews, black people in general, and other Sinti, Gypsies, as non-Aryans. In Nazi Germany, the terms Aryan and non-Aryan initially were used to define who belonged to German society and who did not. In 1952, Ashtar Command got the bright idea to time jump back into the year 1932, to try and change the course of time and history. This was a breach of galactic law and contract. They did it anyway, and now are galactic criminals. They jumped back to 1932, their first contactees were that of the Third Reich of Nazi Germany. They used Adolf Hitler like Yakub to create their so-called super race, the Aryan race. The Aryans were taught to believe that they were to rule the world and that if they perish, the beauty of this earth will sink into the grave with them as well. From the start, the Nazis were determined to ensure the strength and purity of the Aryan race. They believed that the strong and the racially pure had to be encouraged to have more children, The weak and the racially impure had to be neutralized by one means or another. This is the same thing Ashtar Command put in Yakub's head. One way the Nazis encouraged strong and pure Aryans to have more children was through the marriage loan program. Beginning in June 1933, the government made interest-free loans of up to 1,000 marks available to young couples who intended to get married, provided that they met certain criteria. One criterion was that both the man and woman could prove their Aryan heritage. Another criterion was that the bride had to have been employed for 6 months in the 2 years preceding the marriage, and she had to promise to leave her job and stay home until the loan was paid off. This requirement was intended to encourage working women to leave the job market and make more jobs available to men. Finally, for each child born to the couple, a quarter of the loan amount was forgiven. Therefore, if the couple had 4 children, they would not have to repay any of the original loan amount. In this way, the program encouraged healthy Aryan couples to have more children and reinforced what the Nazis believed was the proper role of women in society. The Nazis regarded the breeding of a superior race, encouraged by policies such as the marriage loan program, as positive eugenics. For 3 years Adolf Hitler and his top genetic scientist bred their supposedly super race of pure-blood Aryans as Ashtar Command had instructed them. They thought they had made a super race. They trained these people like superheroes. It came time for Hitler to test his super race against the real superior race of the planet, which is the children of the Anunnaki, Inki, who were now being called so-called African American, Negroes, black, and colored in America. These so-called Negro were the real master race, which took millions of years to develop by the Anunnaki. In the summer of 1936 in Berlin, Hitler showed up with his super race of Aryans. Their red, white and black Nazi swastika flags flew out of every shop window. Adolf Hitler had put in his best possible effort to put on the greatest show on earth. When it came time for the race, Jesse Owen, a so-called American Negro from Ohio, made Hitler's super race look bad. He beat the brakes off of Hitler's super race. Hitler got mad and stormed out of the Olympics. He said, "Damn, those Negroes in America are super Negroes." He got his contactee to get in touch with Ashtar Command and tell them that they needed more help. Close to the end of 1936, Ashtar Command broke more galactic laws. They started giving Hitler advanced technology piece by piece. They didn't want to get caught helping Hitler straight up. So they start sending telepathic messages to German female oracles on how to build some lower-level advanced technology. A oracle is a priest or priestess acting as a medium through whom advice or prophecy was sought from the so-called gods. These oracle channeled the information from Ashtar Command about rocket propulsion. This is what they gave them at first. Then once they knew they had broken galactic law, they said, "What the hell? Let's give them more." Ashtar Command then began giving them information on anti-gravity. All this information Hitler's scientists wrote down and went to work. Ashtar Command was hoping that this information would give Hitler the advantage in World War II, so he could take over the world, on their behalf. Hitler's scientists began working on an advanced weapon shaped like a bell called the Die Glock. The scientists were working at a facility known as Der Ries the Giant near Wenceslas mine and close to the Czech border. The Die Glock was a device made out of a hard, heavy metal. It was 9 feet wide and 12 to 15 feet in height. The device contained 2 counter-rotating cylinders which was filled with a mercury-like substance, mixed with thorium and beryllium, which was purple in color. They named the substance Serum 525, which they stored in a tall thin thermos flask, which was 3.2 feet in height encased in lead. The bell emitted strong radiation, which killed some of the scientists working on the project. In 1938 Hitler was told by Ashtar Command to also go to Antarctica. He sent an expedition to Antarctica from the 17th of December 1938 to the 12th of April 1939 on the ship MS Schwabenland, which had the purpose of claiming an area now known as Drowning Maud Land, mainly to protect the German whaling industry of advanced technology and their so-called super race. Ashtar Command told him about the entrance to the center world. They later set up a base near Lake Vostok, in Antarctic, which is a bottomless lake. Lake Vostok is 1,600 miles wide, but mostly covered with 2 miles down of thick ice. If you go down 500 miles, you reach center gravity and come out at the bottom of the Oregon Ocean in the center of the Earth. There is a small area that is not frozen. This is because of the warm water from the Oregon Ocean in the center of the planet, that it is connected to. The Nazi called this base they set up New Berchtesgaden, which they built in 1938-39. Once their base was set up, they began developing anti-gravity disc-shaped aircraft by 1939. From 1939 to 1945 they made these disc-shaped crafts. In 1940 Hitler put submarines in Lake Vostok. They ended up go to the center of the planet. They even drilled down through the ice and found a city called Rainbow City. They also ran into a couple of the Greys bases. Hitler had meetings with these Greys. They also ran into the Duwayanese. Hitler met with one of the leaders of the Duwayanese, also called the Ewoks and Melmacians, from the center of Earth. Ashtar Command even gave Hitler the science on cloning. Keep in mind this is how Ashtar Command is born, by using the cloning process. Ashtar Command had broken so many galactic laws by this point, they were stacking up against them. They are galactic criminals 10 times over now. After World War II the Nazi Party was defeated. Most of them fled to Antarctic to their underground base. Some of them fled to the dark side of the moon with the help of Ashtar Command, changing their name to the Fourth Reich. Hitler faked his death on April 30, 1945, using his cousin as a look-alike. The person that was killed was Hitler's cousin who looked almost just like him. Hitler, Eva Braun, Martin Bormann, and a couple of his close scientists fled in a super-advanced submarine they had built. He first went to the base in Antarctic. They stayed there for about 2 months. Then they left there on a German U-boat called U-530. On the morning of the 10th of July 1945 they arrived at the Argentine naval base at Mar del Plata near Buenos Aires, 2 months after the Germans surrendered and the end of the war in Europe on the 8th of May 1945. In Argentina they set up a cloning facility. They made several clones of Hitler. They made a movie about it called Boys from Brazil. Hitler and his gang went back and forth from Argentina to Antarctic. He even visited the base that Ashtar Command helped them set up on the dark side of the moon. The USA heard about the advanced technology Hitler was working on from scientists who fled to America in 1945 under a project called Project Paperclip. Operation Paperclip was a secret program of the Joint Intelligence Objectives Agency, JIOA, largely carried out by special agents of Army CIC, in which more than 1,600 German scientists, engineers, and technicians, such as Wernher von Braun and his V-2 rocket team, were taken from Germany to the United States, for U.S. government employment, primarily between 1945 and 1959. Many were former members, and some were former leaders, of the Nazi Party. From the information given to them by the German scientists who sold out Hitler, the USA set up a project to take Hitler's base in the Antarctica. They launched Project High Jump and Project Windmill, which was the most massive sea and air operation to attempt to capture Hitler's base in Antarctica. It consisting of 4,700 men, 13 ships, and 33 aircrafts. This mission was headed by a being named Admiral Richard Evelyn Burt Jr. They wanted Hitler's base, but they didn't expect Hitler to have flying saucers with anti-gravity. The Nazis also attached tank anti-aircraft weapons to the top. They got their behinds kicked and have to regroup. This was in 1946 Project High Jump. They tried again in 1947 in what they called Project Windmill, but failed again. They were trying to get in the center of Earth and capture Hitler's technology. They gave up, but they knew about the hole in the top of the planet. So they got Admiral Byrd to fly his plane into the North Pole hole. He was successful and flew his plane 500 miles into the hole. He said he seen cities and huge mountains and huge tropical trees. He later got a team together to go back down there and found that there was a whole new world down there. They made movies about it called Journey to the Center of the Earth. Meanwhile, the Nazi Dark Fleet were already on the dark side of the moon building a base. They were building a huge ship to try and take over the Earth. They started work on it in 1978 with the help of Ashtar Command. They named it Götterdämmerung, which means Twilight of the Gods. They also were mining helium-3, which had large deposits on the moon. The world governments later joined together to stop them and take their operation. They made a movie about it called Iron Sky. Ashtar Command first open contact with planet Earth came in the 1952 through a man by the name of George Van Tassel. On July 18, 1952, George was given a telepathic message from a space intelligence by the name of Portla, that their chief was about to enter this solar system for the first time. Then followed the first message from Commander Ashtar. Another one of the contactee of Ashtar Command who call themselves, the Pleiadians. His name is Edward Albert Meyer, commonly nicknamed Billy, is the founder of a UFO religion called the Vrije Interessengemeenschap voor Grensgeesteswissenschappen und Ufologie study an alleged contactee whose UFO photographs are claimed to show alien spacecrafts. In the 1970s, Billy Meyer's contact with this Pleiadian women went worldwide. Billy Meyer claimed to be in contact with Sharon's daughter, who was named Sem Jace. She visited him 130 times. They let Billy see them in person. They let Billy shoot their laser gun weapon, which he made a hole in a tree at his house. They took Billy on rides on their spacecrafts. They took him back into time and let him take pictures. Sem Jace and some of her maids even appeared on the Dean Martin show. This tape was later taken by MJ12 and erased from the Dean Martin show database. These are women from the Pleiades galaxy or star system. The one with the blonde hair is Sharon's daughter, Sem Jace. These women might not look it, but they are well over 200 years old in Earth age. Like we said, the females vary between 6 and 7 feet tall. A baby doll face in appearance, pasty pale white skin. They are very intelligent. In 2001, they also claimed to made contact with one of their incarnated beings named Suzanne Lai. With the last name Lai, it's hard to trust her. They made contact, but she's not telling the whole truth about their agenda. She was took aboard their mothership and wrote many books about it. The agenda is a white power one. Ashtar Command is the ones who are responsible for making everyone white all the way up into heaven. They are trying to hide the fact that not many extraterrestrial are Nordic or pale in color. Ashtar Command have bred hybrid children on the planet. They do this by abducting females and implanting them with fetus. Some of their hybrid children are Zoe Ariel, Sophie Cookson, Halston Sage, Zoe Deutsch, Chloe Benr, Avan Jagia, Caitlin Dever, Micah Stauffer, Jen Pookie, Mady McCloskey, Meg Skimmelpfenig, and Ariel Vandenberg, just to name a few. Most of them are actors and supermodels. Billy Myers also was said to be one of them who chose to incarnate on the planet, which is why they made contact with him.